What's going on, everybody? It's Crypto Winter Bowl back with another video. Today I'm gonna do a video about the basics of providing liquidity on Uniswap v3. So I'm just kind of new into looking at this. So be sure to do your own research before actually making a liquidity position. Understand what you're doing and just kind of know the risks that go along with each liquidity position that you make. I'm just bringing you the basics on how I understand it, and just kind of going through it step by step, just because I know a lot of people are wondering about it, on how to do it and stuff like that. So I'm just going to briefly go through the basics on how it actually works. There won't be any strategy or anything like that, uh, just kind of basics. So I found a good resource. Um, it's on docs.uniswap.org, and you can basically just come in here and kind of read. It tells you in basic terms how to set up a liquidity position, different types of orders like range orders, buy limit orders, stop loss orders, stuff like that. So you can just come in here and read it for yourself. Uh, it talks a little bit about the fees and stuff like that, using concentrated liquidity. Just all the basics on how to start doing it. But what I'm gonna do is just kind of show you visually on how it works. So I'm just gonna use Hex USDC for this example. I'll also use Hex Icosa as well. So when you come into the Uniswap pool, you're going to see these bars here. So all the space in between these blue bars is going to be where your liquidity is set. And this gray line here, that's where price currently is. So I'm just going to refresh the page quick. So now the bars are capturing both sides of the price. So if you weren't to touch this and you were to put in, let's say, 1,000 hex, what you're gonna have to do is match that with USDC. So you're gonna have $32 of hex, $32 of USDC. So now if you start to bring these in, so now you start raising the price, your minimum liquidity range price, and you see the amount of USDC that you need goes down, but the hex stays the same. So you can make this a tight range. Let's say you want to provide liquidity within a couple cents of the price. So you can bring this, let's go to like 4 cents. Four, and let's go to 2.8 cents. Okay, close enough. So now if you make this liquidity position, you're gonna have $32 in hex and 18.58 in USDC. So now when price starts trading down to around, once it gets outside of your 2.8 cent range, that means that you are all out of hex and, or sorry, you're all out of USDC and you're all into hex. So this 1850 will transfer all into hex, and now you'll be left with all hex and no USDC. So that's what happens when you start trading this way to the left. So price goes down. If say hex price goes to 2.5 cents, you'll be left with all hex, no USDC. And then once the price gets back into your range here, past 2.8 cents, and starts moving up more towards 4 cents, then now you're more USDC heavy versus hex. So once you get past your range on this side of the bar, that means all your hex has been bought. Everybody's bought your hex, and now you're left with USDC only. I hope that makes sense. So that is a range, I guess you'd call it concentrated liquidity. So when you would use this, I think, is kind of in these market conditions, like where things are kind of just going sideways. Not There's no real major price moves foreseen in the near future. So you could basically just pick a fairly good range. Like, let's look at the hex chart here. Okay. Like, let's say you wanted to, yeah, to like 2.8 cents to 3.5 cents. Let's say that was your liquidity range. Well, you would have been getting fees for almost like 2 weeks, about 2 weeks, just constant fees. So, that's kind of where I see it useful. Or if you want to take more range, you could go to like 5 cent and like 2.8 cent. Like, it's all up to you, how you see the market. But where impermanent loss risk comes in is, let's say, you're not aware of what's going on in the market. You just decide to provide liquidity. Well, if Hex starts running, like 6, 7, 8, 10, if it goes to 30 cents, right? The impermanent loss comes in because it might not ever come back down to your range. So you're left with no Hex, and you've essentially sold all your USDC, all your Hex for USDC within this range here. So that's where the impermanent loss comes in, because now this 1,000 hex at 10 cents is worth $320, and you only got like $50, right? So you just gotta be really careful when doing this, and just kind of recognize what the market conditions are. Personally, I wouldn't be doing like this type of liquidity providing, um, unless I was confident that the asset was going to stay in a specific range. You know what I'm saying? So then there's another type. So you could use this actually to do like limit buys. So all we got to do now is bring our range below the current price, so to the left of the price. So now what you can do is, let's say you have 1,000 USDC. So now you can provide liquidity in US dollars. So I want to buy between 2.4 and 2.8 cents. So your 1,000 USDC is sitting right at 2.4 and 2.8. So when price moves into your range, you're gonna start buying hex. So now you're getting rid of your USDC and it's turning into hex, right? So, and if it keeps moving this way, uh, nothing happens, I don't think. So, and if it comes back up and moves back out of your range up this way, you've already bought your um, US or your hex, sorry, and now you're basically just riding with hex, if that makes sense. And then same thing if we go to the right of it. So this is called single-sided liquidity. Come on. Sorry, my computer's a little bit slow. Okay, so now this works good as a kind of selling out of your position. So now you deposit your hex and you pick your range that you want to sell in. And then when it hits the range, it will sell the hex uh, for USDC. So it's a good way to kind of get out of positions without just market dumping. So you can be a little more strategic in how you enter and exit your positions. You also get some fees too. So let's check out Hex or Icosa Hex. So I'm thinking about doing a LP pair for Icosa Hex, um, just because it's somewhat of a stable pair, meaning it doesn't go up or down huge against each other. It kind of stays within a nice tight range. I'll show you why here. So like look at this pool here. Like it's really really tight. So you could go uh from like 27 to like 37, 28, 29 to 37. And if we look at a chart of it, like look 27 hex per Icosa to like 35.5-ish hex to Icosa. So like when it's in this range, right, you're just collecting nonstop fees. But now all of a sudden, if Icosa, hex Icosa ratchets up, then you can just adjust your LP position. So let's say it jumps up to like 40 and a low of like 35. So you would be left with um hold on one sec. So yeah, you would be left with mostly Icosa if it ran up, I believe. So yeah. And then you could just basically split the two and provide LP at a higher at a higher rate. So if it ever came out of your range and didn't come back, you could just split the cancel the LP, split the pair in half, and then um, just continue providing LP. I think. Like I said, I'm not an expert on this. I'm just kind of giving the basics. But so yeah, I guess if it moves to the left, you would be left mostly with hex, and if it moves to the right, you would be left mostly with Icosa. Or vice versa. I think it might be vice versa. Yeah. So yeah, you'd be left more with Icosa on this side, and then more hex on this side. It's a little bit confusing. I do get confused sometimes. Um, but once you figure it out, it does make sense. Um, I would, if you were considering just checking out how to be an LP, definitely consider doing the Icosa hex because it is very stable. You just basically pick a nice tight range, and then you just collect fees. The reason why I like this pair is because Icosa is tied to Hex. So like I wouldn't be mad either way if I did experience permanent impermanent loss, because if Hex goes up in price, Icosa is gonna follow, and vice versa, right? So that's kind of why I like the pair. It's very interesting. Um, but yeah, come check out docs.uniswap.org, and it'll kind of tell you the basics on how to actually set it up. But you know, once you understand this, it is a very good tool. I'm just starting to learn about how to do this, so please, if you have any additional comments, or you know some more things about it, by all means, leave a comment down below, because I like learning about this. So that should be everything that I wanted to cover today. Please like and subscribe if you find this valuable. And Crypto Winter Bull out.